Want to work on is the find and replace file for the first part of the lesson. Okay. Nothing very difficult in terms of what we want to cover today. Should be fairly straightforward. Okay. What we want to basically look at, it's basically we are expanding our skills, obviously. And what we want to do is make use of the find, replace, as well as a bit of spell check as well. Okay, a little bit of spelling check as well, which is the next section. So what I've done is I've already opened the online resource that we've been using. Very, very useful resource, and it's got some excellent content. Okay. So when we are working with lots of data in Excel, sometimes it may be difficult and time consuming to locate specific information, and you can easily search your workbook using the find feature, and this also allows you to replace if you need to. So the file I've already made available, and I'm going to just play this short video clip as we begin our lesson, and we will then carry on. Okay. So I'm just going to mute myself. If there's any issue with the sound, let me know. Otherwise, I've set it up so that the sound should be fine.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
In workbooks with lots of data, when I'm looking for something, I sometimes have trouble finding a specific word or phrase that I know is in there somewhere. The Find feature can help by searching the workbook for you. Just click Find and select on the ribbon. Then choose Find and type the word or phrase you're looking for. When you're done, click Find Next in the dialog box. If the word or phrase is found, the cell containing it will be selected. At times, you may find that you've made a mistake throughout your workbook, or you need to swap a certain word or phrase for another. For that, you can use the Replace feature instead. I actually need to change the name of this department from Accounting to Finance. To continue, go ahead and click Replace, and it will jump to the next instance automatically. If you want to skip the current instance without replacing it, click Find Next instead. Alternatively, to replace every instance without having to review each one, click Replace All, and the entire workbook will be updated. When it comes to using Replace All, though, it's important to remember that it could find matches you didn't anticipate and might not want to actually change. Generally speaking, you don't want to use Replace All, because it doesn't give you the option of skipping anything you don't want to change. So you should only use this option if you're absolutely sure that it won't replace anything you didn't intend it to. Now that you know how to use Find and Replace, you can put this time-saving technique to work in your Excel spreadsheets.
All right, I think that was a fairly straightforward video clip. And I don't know if there are any questions. If there are, you let me know. I've already shared with you the file that we saw being used in that video clip. So what we need to do is use the find and replace command. Okay, use the find and replace command. I think I've just minimized my ribbon here. Let me see if now, well, that's fine. I'll just click on the home tab. Using the find and replace command, okay, to replace the word accounting. So it's clicking on the find and replace tab. You click on the word find, okay. And in this case, the word we are wanting to look for is accounting, as was shown in the little video clip. And then you click on find next, okay. And then it shows you the different instances that the word accounting appears. And then we were shown how to also replace. Say I want to replace that word with finance. Okay. I can simply click on replace to replace the one option, and then I can go through one by one. The recommendation, as we watched in the video, is to replace one item at a time, so that you don't accidentally replace something which you might not want to replace. So I will ask you to open your files and then just very quickly use the find and then use the replace commands there. Okay, it's a fairly short section that we want to do. We are going to be covering a couple of areas. The first one obviously is the find and replace one that we've just done. And then we will also look at using spelling, using the spelling tool. Okay, so please just, I'll give you maybe just a minute or two to quickly just use that find and replace tool, and then we'll move on.
So my computer isn't allowing me to replace.
You might need to, at the top of your screen, you might need to click on enable editing. If you download it and then don't select enable editing, you may not be able to. Is there an option for enable editing at the top?
Let me just quickly check.
Just have a check, yeah. Just have a look. Then you can send me screenshots once you've done the find replace, and then we move on. It's not a long lesson. I'm sure we'll be able to cover the things that we need to do. It won't allow me to press replace. Okay. Okay, Cindy, I've seen your screenshot. Are you able to at least use the find button? Obviously, I've demonstrated, and the video also shows you how you're supposed to do the find and replacing. For now, maybe if you can just show me that you are using the find button and are able to find this. I don't know why it's not allowing you to use the replace option. On my side, I think I just demonstrated that I'm able to do the replacing here. I'm actually using the find replace button. By the way, what version of Excel are you using?
I think it's Excel 2013.
2013. Yeah, you should be able to, because if I open the same file using even my 2010 version, it should still allow me to do so. What I was explaining to you earlier, perhaps I can try to show you the same thing as well using Excel 2010. I've opened it. You see here, if I say, for instance, as I'm opening, it's giving me options. It says it's locked for editing. Okay, so if I open it as a read-only file, for instance, I'm not going to be able to edit it. So if I go to the home button here and I try and click on find, can you see that I'm having the same thing that you are experiencing? The only thing I can do is find. Do you see that, Cindy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think this is probably what is happening with yours. For me, on my version, it's in what's called protected view. So I need to click on where it says enable editing at the top. If I click on enable editing at the top, I am now able to use find and replace. So I can now go to accounting. Okay. Well, hopefully, I'm not so sure my computer is responding a bit slowly. Right, so if I go to accounting there, okay, I can now replace it with finance, as was shown in the video. I cannot find a match account.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Do you mean all of the accountings that we must replace with finance?
Yes.
So do we click on them with the right click, sir? Because I never saw the video.
Let me show you now. I can show you now. I'm actually demonstrating that. I think I may be made a mistake in terms of how I spelled the word accounting. It wasn't allowing me now to replace. Okay. Okay, let me start by just finding. Okay, let me start by finding. So if I say find next, it's found the word accounting. Do you see that? To replace, I click on the replace button. What was recommended in the video is not to use replace all, but to replace one at a time. Okay, sorry, let me just undo that. I want to replace accounting with the word. I want to just undo that because it's replaced with nothing. It's not what I want. I click find. To find the word accounting, I first click the word accounting, and then if I say find next, it finds where the word is. Then if I click on the replace icon here, and then if I type the word finance, I can replace all by clicking on the replace all button. But what is encouraged in the video is to replace one at a time. There, I've replaced the first accounting with finance. And if I click replace again, because what that does is it allows me to check if every time where the word accounting is appearing, if that is what I actually want to do. If I replace all, I can do it. If I'm very sure, I can replace everything all at once. Does that help?
Excuse me, sir. Please, can you try and do that again?
Okay. I will do that again. I don't know if you're able to hear me. I'm happy to do it again. Maybe whilst I'm checking to see if Rowan is there. Cindy, any joy? Did you try again? Did my little demonstration help at all?
Yes, sir, it did. I managed to fix it.
Ah, there we go. There we go. Lovely stuff. So yeah, that was what I was explaining. So that's helpful. Wonderful. So Cindy, what I'm happy for you to do, I just want to see if I can help Rowan. If you have opened the resource, Cindy, all we are wanting to do is we are wanting to carry on with the material on find and replace. We also want to go through the spelling section as well. Or maybe I can come back and assist Rowan when I'm sure that he's in. I think maybe his network is in and out and it's breaking. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so we've already done the find and replace as shown here. Okay, so that's fairly straightforward. So we can, it's also being shown, instead of going to find first, you can go straight to replace, and then you do the find and replace the word accounting with finance, which I think we've done. And if you say replace all, it does the replacing at the same time. Okay. So there is a practice workbook there that we have been asked to then do. It's finding different words and replacing them. Quite simple, quite straightforward. So the same worksheet which is open at the bottom, if I click continue, okay, it will then take me to the next section, which is what I would also like us to cover today, where we are going to also be shown how to do a spelling check. There is a different workbook this time around, okay, which I'm going to access the same link, the practice workbook there. So let me open the next worksheet, the practice workbook one. Okay, I'm downloading it and then I'm going to open it. All right. Let me just check Rowan's work now. Looks like he's, there we go. Yeah, exactly. Rowan has got it. Rowan has got it. Excellent. So now moving on to spelling. So I've downloaded the worksheet, workbook, spelling. Now what I want to do is I want to just go through the next section as well, so that come assignment, you should be able to then work on the assignment without any issues. Okay, so let's go back to the resource. Okay, downloaded it. And I'm not so sure if there is a short video clip. Nah, there's no short video clip. It's just going through this short section. Okay, so the introduction, I'm just going to read the introduction and then we do the demonstration, and then for today's lesson we're done. So before sharing a workbook, you want to make sure, you want to make sure that it doesn't include any spelling errors. So fortunately, Excel includes a spell check, which you can use to make sure that everything in your workbook is spelled correctly. If you've used spell check feature in Microsoft Word, it works exactly the same, and it's helpful. It's helpful, but it's not as powerful as the one that's in Microsoft Word. Okay, so for example, this one in a spreadsheet is not going to check your grammar. If you've made a grammatical error that's from your English, it's not going to help you much. So from the review tab, we click on spelling, okay, and then it will show us if there are any spelling errors in our workbook, and then it will allow us to change those if there are some. So the same way, Cindy, in order for you to be able to change and edit the file, it will be important for you to enable editing again. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem where you may not be able to change or do anything. So when you open a downloaded file, it opens in protected view, and it actually tells you why it uses protected view. It says here, be careful. Files from the internet can contain viruses. Unless you need to edit, it's safer to stay in protected view. So you need to obviously have an antivirus on your computer, and you are safer working with an Excel worksheet in protected view. Only enable editing when you know it's from a reliable source, and are sure that it doesn't contain a virus. Okay, so in this case, we know it's coming from a reputable website without any problems. I will click enable editing, and then review is where we find the option for spell check. I click on review, and here I'm getting a couple of comments, which is telling me some things which have changed in this version of Microsoft 365, which is fine. And then I simply go to AB. You want to continue checking at the beginning? I will say yes. And there is a word, exercise has been spelled incorrectly. So I obviously don't want relationship exercise to be spelled that way. So I'll click on change. And then it will tell me your spell check is complete and you are good to go. Okay. Really simple. And I'm glad we were able to cover the sections that we needed to cover today. Your assignment is made up of 2 parts. It's using find and replace, and also using the spell check just to consolidate what we've covered. And then we will move on to something new next week. All right. I know Rowan may still be having some internet related issues or challenges. I'm hoping he's able to follow. The find and replace side, no issues, no problems. Cindy, are we together? Everything okay? Rowan, have you managed to join us? Did you hear that, what I was sharing? Okay, that brings us to the end of today's session. If you need any additional help, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, the files and the respective workbooks to work through those 2 areas are posted in the learning platform. So please just work on your assignments, and then we will carry on with our next lesson next week.